Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news from the Middle East. Mutual attacks are continuing at this hour between Israel and the United States, but there are signs they are starting to be overwhelmed. As missiles continue to strike and their own bases become targets, the situation has taken an unexpected and dangerous turn. Explosions are shaking Tel Aviv, causing residents to panic and pour into the streets. Meanwhile, in Tehran, loud booms are being met with calm, even with the waving of flags. This stark irony grows sharper as Wave 55 of what Iran calls Operation True Promise 4 proceeds relentlessly, and initial losses reaching $20 billion begin to be revealed. At the same time, America's allies are slowly backing away. The question tonight, who is actually losing control? These are the latest developments in the mutual attacks. Israel and the United States versus Iran, as this conflict intensifies. Amid the increasing ferocity of this conflict, one term keeps emerging, becoming the center of attention: Operation True Promise 4, or OTP-4 for short. This is not just an ordinary military operation, but a series of layered attacks designed by Iran to continuously pressure its opponents. Unlike conventional sporadic attacks, OTP-4 is proceeding in recurring waves, each one measured and increasingly complex. Iran is not relying on a single type of weapon, but is combining ballistic missiles, suicide drones, and long-range precision strikes that are overwhelming its opponent's defense systems. In recent days, the world has begun to see exactly how this pattern works. Wave after wave is being launched, giving Israel and the United States no time to recover. Even now, in Wave 55, the scale and coordination of the attack show this is not a reactive measure, but a well-prepared, long-term strategy. Iran is sending a clear message. They are not just defending, but are capable of setting the tempo of this war. The chronology of this latest escalation begins in the Gulf region, specifically around the headquarters of the United States Navy's Fifth Fleet. That strategic base was suddenly placed on high alert after the simultaneous launch of Shahed-136 drones was detected, heading towards several U.S. military points. These drones are known as low-flying kamikazes. They are difficult for radar to detect and are designed to strike targets with precision. This attack is not just a physical threat, but a psychological one, demonstrating that even the most heavily guarded bases are not impenetrable. Not long after Wave 55 of OTP-4 truly began, Iran launched a combination of advanced missiles with extreme speed and high maneuverability. Some reports mention types like the Fattah, which is capable of hypersonic speeds, as well as the Imad and Qadr, which can carry large warheads with high accuracy. The impact was immediately felt in northern Israel. The city of Nahariya was reported to be one of the points hit by rocket attacks, including from proxy groups like Hezbollah. Footage now circulating shows damaged buildings, burning vehicles, and panicked residents seeking shelter. This signifies that the conflict is no longer limited to two countries, but now involves a broader network of allies. The escalation then expanded to important American air bases in the Gulf region: Sheikh Issa in Bahrain and Al Dhafra in the United Arab Emirates. According to statements now circulating, a combined missile and drone attack struck logistics facilities and fighter jet shelters. The impact was not only physical damage, but also a reduction in operational capability. It didn't end there. Attacks also targeted the Victoria military base, belonging to the United States near Baghdad International Airport. For the first time, footage has emerged showing an FPV drone, a small, directly controlled drone, flying low over the base area before attacking. This type of weapon is relatively cheap, but very effective because it is difficult to detect and can be directed with high precision to specific targets. In addition to drones, rocket attacks were also reported, adding to the pressure on United States forces in Iraq. Viewed as a whole, this pattern of attacks reveals one critical point. Iran's escalation does not stand alone, but is connected to a network of proxies in various regions. From Lebanon to Iraq to the Gulf, all are moving in the same rhythm. And at this point, the major question begins to emerge. Is this still just a series of attacks, or is it the beginning of a major shift in the balance of power in the Middle East? Escalation from the Israeli and American side also continues. However, this time it is raising many questions. Amid the high intensity of attacks, the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, again released footage they claimed was part of their latest operation in what is being called the 12-Day War. The video shows an airstrike that is claimed to have destroyed missile launchers belonging to Iran and its allies. However, it didn't take long for controversy to arise. A number of observers and social media users discovered that some of the published footage was not new. There are indications that old video, even from an operation in Lebanon the previous year, was reused and presented as if it were part of the latest attack. This has triggered serious questions about the credibility of the information being shared, while also showing that this war is not only happening on the battlefield, but also in the information space. On the American side, CENTCOM's actions have not escaped criticism either. Some of the official videos released were seen as showing questionable target selection. Instead of hitting active strategic facilities, there are indications that what was attacked was old equipment, even equipment that was already damaged or no longer operational. One widely discussed example is the targeting of an old air defense system that had been hit before, as well as a location suspected of being part of a military museum. This has led to speculation about whether these attacks are truly effective or merely an attempt to build a narrative of success. Amid this controversy, the IDF also made a major claim. They stated they had killed a high-ranking Iranian security official, a figure said to have an important role in the power structure and be close to Iran's supreme leader. Now, if this claim is true, its impact could be very significant, as it directly touches the inner circle of power. The conflict between Israel, the United States, and Iran continues to claim victims. To date, the total death toll is reported to have reached approximately 1,444 people, with 12 Israeli citizens and 13 American soldiers killed. Meanwhile, the majority of the victims are from Iran, with the number of casualties continuously increasing since the beginning of this major conflict escalation. The current situation shows that pressure on Israel and the United States is coming not only from the battlefield, but also from the international stage. One of the most striking developments is the stance of Western allies, who are beginning to keep their distance. A number of European leaders have openly rejected President Donald Trump's request to help secure shipping lanes in the Strait of Hormuz. Even from within NATO itself, a firm statement has emerged that this conflict is considered problematic under international law and that the alliance should not get involved. At the same time, American military movements are also raising big questions. Circulating reports mention that United States Navy ships have begun to move away from the hottest region in the Middle East. If this is true, then it is not just a tactical repositioning, but could be read as a form of extreme caution or even an indication that the risks on the ground have become too high. This situation is further reinforced by an open message from Iran addressed directly to Trump, asserting that the outcome of a war is not determined by political statements, but by the reality on the battlefield, a place that U.S. forces are now said to be avoiding. Within Israel itself, the situation is no less heated. Rumors about the condition of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have resurfaced after a video emerged that sparked suspicion of being a digital fabrication. Instead of quelling the issue, this has only amplified speculation about a leadership crisis. Meanwhile, Iran is playing another strategic card through the Strait of Hormuz. They have stated that the vital waterway remains open, but only for countries not involved in the conflict, and even then, with permission from Tehran. This is a very significant move because Iran is indirectly demonstrating control over one of the world's most important energy routes. If this war continues, the final scenario may not be an absolute military victory, but a war of attrition. As one analyst said, Iran's goal is not to win, but to endure. In this situation, merely enduring can be framed as a victory, which in turn places the United States and Israel in a strategically losing position.